Xin Chao. Hey, how are ya? In this video today, we're going to talk about my biggest financial mistakes over the past 6 years in Vietnam, mainly Saigon, Vietnam. So, yeah, try to keep things positive, but also just try to put things out as they happen and as it went. So, let's just dive right into her. I would say the biggest number one thing I wasted money on initially was buying a motorcycle. That you don't need a motorcycle in Saigon. That was by far the first stupid purchase I made. I'm gonna keep this pretty straightforward. Like, I'm not gonna include like ex-wives and stuff like this. Just the actual like things, and maybe it'll help you out to make a good choice or a better choice. You certainly don't need a new motorcycle. You don't need a real motorcycle. You just need a scooter, something around 10-15 million. You're not flexing on nobody. Nobody cares. No chick's gonna care that you're driving around some whatever bike you think's cool. It's just a waste of money. And I think I spent around $5,000 for my first bike. Oh, she's pretty cute. Nice style too. Golly. Got a lot of hotties here, but they almost always have boyfriends or husbands. Of all of them. It's crazy. Here, keep walking this way. So the motorcycle was definitely $5,000 extra dollars I could have just had and used and not needed to buy. So while it was cool, you know, the vlogs that I made off of it and stuff, they never paid back the thing or anywhere close. So the motorbike definitely sits at a number one wasted money. I'd say number two would be the Samsung Fold 4s. The two Samsung Fold 4s that I lost like simultaneously back to back pretty much. Should have never bought those to begin with. I don't need some fancy new phone. This was the tail end of me figuring all that stuff out. That you don't need all this shit in life. You know, yeah. I would rather spend my money, especially here in Saigon, on housing. I'd rather have a little bit higher month of housing and not have a new phone and a fucking motorcycle and a bunch of shit I don't really actually need anyways. Like, for real. I would much rather have just kept the money and not bought any of that shit. And like, that's the same thing with like moving forward now. I don't want to buy any new phones and shit. Like, do I look at them? Sure. Like, if we start balling out of control, I'll always upgrade the work stuff. But like, I got a Samsung, I don't know what it is, Fold 5 now, that I've had for like 2 years. I'm gonna just put a new battery in it. That's all it needs. I mean, I don't need the new one. It works great. Everything on it works fine still, so I don't need to change anything, alter anything. So stuff like that were pretty, you know, I know another thing a lot of people would like to put on the list that know the lore and everything would say that the apartments, but you know, to be honest with you, I have no regrets. Those apartments were great. In fact, we're going to be going back. I'm only going to be able to last another month here. It is so incredibly isolating and boring. You could never convince me that this place is horrible. Like, if it was 20 kilometers closer to Saigon, it would be great. You know, it's missing, the location's off. There's the beautiful park they have. I don't know what they're doing up here. What, window cleaning? Yeah. There's no one window cleaning. I mean, this is pretty nice. It's like Vinhome Central Park. So you don't need to buy a bunch of stuff. There's no one to show off to here. If a girl's worried about what kind of phone and shoes and shit you have, you're already going with the wrong type of chick. You know, we're going to continue to talk about all kinds of different stuff, but the dating series we're going to continue to expand on pretty heavily too. It's definitely different. They're all asking way too many questions about money too soon. And some bullshit about like not the last person. I don't care about your last person, bro. But there seems to be a little bit of shift in all that stuff. Yeah, look how nice this is. We had to walk the goofy area, go goofy way here, but they love a sign. So I wouldn't get stuck in trying to impress. I wouldn't get stuck in trying to ball out new shit. Make sure you got some decent and nice clothes and pick your apartment right. The only thing I would authorize you to spend up to, considerable amount of money would be an apartment if you've got the money for it. Being in the right place in the right location in Saigon is key to everything. Oh, look how cool that is. Perfect thumbnail. Do we like the AI thumbnails or real ones? I'll try that one for this one. Cool little area, right? Coffee's ripping. Cafe Suda be hitting. The only problem here is there's too many people here during the days. I don't like that. I like to be in an apartment where people go to work during the week. Then that's when I'll utilize all the stuff. You know what I'm saying? Right now, there's way too many people here. All the time. Like during the day. It's like, don't you go to work? But the pools here are so much better. I would not, again, I repeat, do not stay at Masteries. But I guess we can kind of finish on another gigantic waste of an expense is going to be the lady bars and shit. Who knows how much money I wasted there? That's why I recommend you take the tour if you really want to do that shit. At $500, you're going to save you $5,000. On God. You wouldn't believe how washed and rinsed people get. I've got another video, another one where we'll talk about how long $5,000 lasts you. And boy, it can last you just 20 days here. Depends on where you're going and what you're doing. Where you're degenning at and all that shit. There's like I think there's like, one of the buildings has quite a bit of assisted living with like elderly people. I don't know what's up with that. Another outdoor gym. So I mean, definitely nightlife partying was a pretty big waste as well. Not gonna lie. Like there's a steep learning curve when you're going out and doing all that shit. It's very easy to become an alcoholic here too. So you gotta control your shit. I've been drinking a little bit too much lately. Clamp down a little bit. Go easy while we're out here. And once we move back, I think like every Fridays we'll have some drinks. Just keep it to minimum. Doesn't need to be every day. At home Grand Park, I can remember shooting the first video here. I think this is where we started walking at. None of this stuff was really finished. You couldn't really get a lay of the land either for how they were gonna do it. Interesting, huh? I'm hungry. Alright, I think that's the videos, guys. The video for the day. If you want to add something, drop her in the comments, hey. The Patreon has a bunch of additional content, so check that out too. Thanks for watching. Peace out. stay frosty. Man, my stomach hurts. I gotta eat food. Jesus.